everyone, and welcome to another video. Today I am addressing whether I prefer paperbacks or hardbacks and the pros and cons of both. So when it comes down to it, which one I'm going to be buying more, I usually tend to buy paperbacks more because they are a lot cheaper. And it's hard for me because I like to get books when they first come out, which is always really nice. But a lot of times books are first released in hardcover, so they're a lot more expensive than if I wait and get the paperback. So it's kind of always that struggle of whether this book is worth getting right when it comes out or just waiting to get it from the library or until it comes out in paperback because it is more cost effective for me. So that's always something I have to kind of keep in mind when I am buying books or pre-ordering, because although I don't like the look of paperbacks as much, I don't always have the money to buy hardbacks. However, when it comes to paperbacks, there are some things that I really like about them. I'm just going to be using Divergent by Veronica Roth as an example because I have it in paperback. So the thing I like about paperbacks is it's a lot more flexible when it comes to traveling or taking it with me places. It's not a stiff hardcover, so I can kind of cram it in my purse or my bag when I'm going places. And I like that it's usually smaller and not as heavy. So those are nice. So if I'm traveling places, it's nice to have paperbacks, although usually if we do go on a long trip, I will load books on my Kindle because I can't pack a whole suitcase of books. But I do enjoy that. However, when it comes to paperbacks, I don't like how easy it is to get the corners bent or to get water damage or, you know, anything. They are not very durable. So I don't really like that if I'm spending my money on a book, it gets beat up pretty easily. And I'm not like tough on my books or anything, you know, they're my babies. So I'm pretty nice to them, but I still get the bent pages. I still get sometimes warping and the spine breaking. I mean, it's just, sometimes it seems worth it to pay the extra, you know, $5 or something to get a hardback if I'm ordering off Amazon. Usually it's $10 versus like $15, besides new releases are sometimes more expensive. But sometimes it seems worth it just because my book won't be totally destroyed. But when it comes down to it, all of those things aren't necessarily such a big deal to me. I don't mind having books that look like they've been used. I mean, my bookshelves I want to look pretty, obviously, but like my old Harry Potter book, the first one is so beat up. It's just annihilated. But that really shows how much I've read it over the years, and I'm okay with that. I kind of show it off, like, look at how much I've read this book, and look at how much I love it. I've had it forever. Look at this broken spine. Look at these bent pages. I don't really have a problem with having books that look loved. Now, when it comes to hardbacks, which I'm going to be using The Winter's Curse by Marie Rukowski, just because I have it in hardback, one of my favorite things about hardback books is the textures. I know that sounds really weird, but I love if you feel the cover, usually the font stands out or they'll put different like textures on it. And I love that. I really love that. I just think it's beautiful. And I mean, just when you look in comparison to a paperback, the hardcover looks so much nicer and it looks so much better on my shelf. Usually they're all the same height, so they go together perfectly, whereas paperbacks usually are kind of, you know, because they're different sizes. So I really love that about hardcovers. And I really love that a lot of times you can get beautiful things on the inside. Oh, this one's pretty. So I took off the dust jacket and we have the beautiful spine and the embossed cover. I don't know if you guys can really see that, but it's like getting a little bit of extra. Sometimes when you take off those dust jackets, there's just a lot more going on under here and it's beautiful. And I really like that because when I'm reading my hardcover books, usually I'll take the dust jacket off and set it somewhere because it just kind of gets in the way. I don't need it while I'm actually reading, but I can still kind of appreciate, you know, how pretty it is. So I do see the inside a lot. So when it comes down to it, I usually do buy paperbacks more just because they are cheaper. And for me, as much as I really like for my shelves to look nice and I love getting a new hardcover book, it's about getting the book itself. So if I order one hardcover, that could be 2 paperback books I get, and those are the books themselves. And that's what's usually important to me, is getting the books I want. However, that's not always true. Book Outlet, being wonderful as it is, sometimes has really, really great sales on hardcovers. The majority of what I order from Book Outlet are hardcovers because they're so cheap that I don't feel guilty about buying it. But you can only get what you find on Book Outlet, so if I'm ordering specifically from like Amazon, I'll usually go paperback. So if you guys had to ask me which were my favorite, I really couldn't pick. Both have such pros and cons, and ultimately it's not really that big of a deal to me. It's not something I think about a whole lot. I mean, if I'm facing, you know, a paperback or a hardcover and the cost difference is substantial, I'm gonna go with the paperback. But if I can afford it, I would always get the hardcover just because you get a bit more with it. Alright you guys, so there are my thoughts on the ongoing struggle between whether paperback or hardcover are the best. Feel free and let me know which you guys prefer down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.